We were going into this week being like, man, what are we going to talk about this week?
Hmm.
Just no ideas, no thoughts, head empty. And then Nintendo's like, hey, let's do a direct, and we're like, sweet, we can talk about that. That sounds great.
Yay! Continuing our June is time for games theme.
Yep. So yeah, they did a Nintendo Direct this Wednesday, and we're going to talk about all the stuff that they talked about, talking about.
Hmm.
For sure. Hello, welcome to this week's episode of Seasonal Anime Checkup OVA. It's a podcast where we have conversations about video games, anime, and manga. Hello, I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc, Allie, and Ladium.
Hello.
This is episode 339, and it is time to talk about the June Nintendo Direct. They
It happened.
It did happen. They basically only said, "Hey, we're going to talk about Pikmin and then some other stuff that comes out this year,"
Hmm.
and that was it. Um, I did see rumors floating about that talked about how potentially we would see a new 2D Mario and a remake of a Super Nintendo game.
I didn't see either of those, but
Those are the
I'm
only
glad
things
I'm
that
glad
I
that
had
you
seen.
did.
And it turns out both of those were true.
Yay!
This is their first direct since February.
Jesus Christ, has it really been that long?
February 8th of this year was the last Nintendo Direct.
Wow.
So let's talk about what they had to talk about. They started off by showcasing the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet downloadable content, the Teal Mask, and the Indigo Disc. The first one coming out in fall of this year, and the second one coming out in winter of this year. I'm guessing this means there is no annual Pokemon release,
Yeah, that seems likely.
which that makes sense. I feel
Probably
like,
okay.
yeah, probably a good idea to give this series a little bit of a break. Maybe go into like a Assassin's Creed style on off type schedule in terms of years. But yeah, they look like Pokemon. There's Pokemon in it, and new characters, and Pokemon, and there's Pokemon. I
Pokemon.
haven't played this game yet, so I don't know everything that's new. I'm sure if you are a Pokemon fanatic, there's 30 people just frame and analyzing each part of this trailer to see what's new and everything.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm
100%.
I'm not a big Pokemon person, so I was also fighting on my earbuds quite
You
a
were,
lot during
yes.
this. So I was just like, "Grr, Pokemon."
Angry Pokemon.
Yep.
So yeah. After that, they showed off a. I don't know if this is a new trailer or not, but they showed off more Sonic Superstars that, of course, got announced last week.
Hmm.
This is coming out in the fall of this year. After that, we saw Palia. I gotta click on this and see what this was again. This is a free to play, so I guess that'll be interesting to see exactly what that means in terms of monetization and progress and all that sort of stuff. I don't know if this is already a mobile game or not. I mean, I could look it up right now.
You could if you wanted to.
This nope.
Nope.
Well, I hmm,
Uh?
I think that this is what it is. Yeah, this is what this is. This is a game out on the personal computer, I believe, right now.
The PC.
Yeah, so it'll come out to PC first before Switch, apparently. So there is that. After that, they showed off again. I don't know if this is the same trailer or a different trailer for Persona 5 Tactica, coming out on the 17th of November of this year. It is still a Persona 5 Tactics game. Nothing about that has changed.
No. Other than we know it has a physical release.
Yeah.
Also, I every time I see the P5T, all I see is PST, like Pacific time. I
Yeah,
can't see it in
you can
any
only
other
play this in the
way.
West Coast.
Apparently, I mean, like, look at the logo. It
No,
looks
you're
like
right.
PST. That doesn't look like a five. It's
Yeah,
like my handwriting.
it's
Who's
very,
doing this?
very wobbly. I did see a rumor that DLC for this game will include that new gal from Royal and then everyone's favorite character, Goro Akechi.
Sorry.
After that, they showed off a game called Myth Force, which is like cartoon stylized first person roguelike, which they basically said was inspired by Saturday morning cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
When I first saw the name, I thought this was some weird Mythic Quest tie-in, and I had to be like, "Wait, no,
Yeah.
that's not right.
Yeah.
That ain't right." After that, there's a new Splatfest coming in July. It's about ice cream. You gotta choose which flavor of ice cream you like. Is it vanilla, strawberry, or mint chip? That's the only 3 flavors of ice cream there are.
Yeah, that's it. It's the only ice creams.
That's it.
What ice cream do you pick, my friend?
Vanilla. I'm
Vanilla?
a basic white boy.
I would go with mint chip.
I'm not a big mint person when it comes to like mint and chocolate together. I think we've talked about this before. It's like you with
Right. Like
peanut
me
butter
and
and chocolate.
Yeah. We have the exact opposite feelings on these things.
Yes, strawberry's
Yep.
fine, but just like
I'm fine with strawberry. I would. If I were to, let's do a quick ranking of ice cream. Are you ready?
Okay. Ranking
Uh,
of ice creams.
so mint chip. What were the other ones? Strawberry, chocolate, vanilla.
No, just strawberry and vanilla and mint chocolate chip.
Oh, no chocolate. Okay. Mint chip, strawberry, vanilla.
Interesting.
hmm
My dad is a strawberry ice cream person.
My brother is a big strawberry ice cream person.
Did you know they make strawberry frosted flakes?
What?
So it turns your milk into strawberry milk.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if it's good, but it's interesting. That's the word I would use.
That
for
is
it.
interesting. That is
Yeah.
interesting. But yeah, those are the only ice creams that exist. No chocolate.
Yep, that's it. After that, a sequel to Detective Pikachu is coming out called Detective Pikachu Returns, coming out on October 6th of this year. It's very funny just to hear deep voice Pikachu.
Yep.
I guess that was a thing in the 3DS game. I didn't play the 3DS Detective Pikachu, so I don't know.
I didn't either.
But yeah, it was very funny. Yeah, sure. Why not make another Detective Pikachu game?
Why not?
Why not? Got a little hat. He's solving crimes.
He's returning.
He's returning. You're right. After that, they unveiled a Super Nintendo remake for Super Mario RPG.
As soon as I saw Peach on that area, I was like, holy shit, are they doing this? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This looks so good. For clarification, for those who are not aware, I'm a big fan of Super Mario RPG. Really, really big fan of this game. Love this game. I'm so jazzed.
Yeah, it looks nice, like graphically and everything. It looks very much like they're keeping the style of
Yeah,
gameplay.
everybody's all squat.
There's part of me though that feels like it's too clean looking.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that.
Like the way that Super Nintendo game looked with like, it had the same kind of look as Donkey Kong Country and all those games where it just looked very different from what you would see on a Super Nintendo. Like there was a certain style to that is
It
very
had like
much
a
lost
claymation
here.
style.
Yeah. But it does look very nice. I think it's interesting that, like I said, the gameplay looks very much the same.
Looks the same. The music is the same, but orchestrated.
Yeah, I think they're doing like a little bit to it, like Yoko Shimomura's back for it and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I guess this makes sense why they never decided to put this out on the Super Nintendo Switch stuff, which again, I think that was also probably a case of rights issues with Square that I don't know if they could iron out. And like they didn't mention, I think, on here about like who's developing this.
They did not, which I thought was interesting.
Obviously, there was no Square logo or anything like that, so obviously, I would assume they're very much not involved in this at all, which is probably why they're able to remake it. But yeah, Super Mario RPG's back.
Did you ever play this?
No.
I remember I was asking you to for a while, and then I played through it on one of my mini machines.
Yes.
So this is my opportunity to get you to play this game.
It's true.
Yay.
After that, they showed off 2 games that are in the works coming out for next year.
Mhm.
They're making a new Princess Peach game.
I'm jazzed about this because Super Princess Peach was good. Also, she looks like a magical girl.
Yeah, it looks like she's doing magical girl transformations at the end, which I'm like all about. That seems real
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Mm-hmm. Give me
They
more Peach games.
Yeah, they basically just showed, hey, we're making this and it's coming next year. We'll talk more about
Yeah.
this at some other point.
Yeah.
And then also, Luigi's Mansion 2 Dark Moon is getting a Switch remaster. This was the 3DS Luigi's Mansion game,
Mm-hmm.
which I think they didn't put Luigi's Mansion out on Switch. They put that back out on 3DS, right?
The original Luigi's Mansion?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was because Luigi's Mansion 2 is on Switch.
No, it's on
Um,
3DS. Wait, the third Luigi's Mansion game is on Switch.
but isn't it called 2?
No, this is 2.
Well, what is the third one called?
Luigi's Mansion Spooky Cool
Oh,
Fun
it is it
Ride.
it is called 3. It just doesn't have a 2 on the Dark Moon. Do Luigi's Mansion
You're right. It does
is
not have
on
a 2 on there.
it's on the 3DS. Because
Yeah,
I'm looking at it right now.
I'm also looking at my copy of it right now.
Nice, look at us go.
I played a little bit of this game and did never beat it. So
I love Luigi's Mansion. Dark Moon is okay.
yeah, I feel like that's kind of the gist I got from
The
that.
consensus.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fine. Maybe it'll be better on the Switch.
maybe.
So we'll see.
After that, they're putting out all 3 of the Batman Arkham games on the Switch for some reason.
Some reason.
That's coming out in the fall of this year. I don't know if I would want to play these games back to back to back. All
I don't
at
know
once.
that I'd want to play them on the Switch.
Yeah, that too, as well, I think. That's a good point. So there's that. Gloomhaven is coming out on September 18th. I think this is a tabletop game that they're putting on video game.
Huh.
So you got that. Just Dance 2024, of course, is coming to the Switch on October, which we knew about from the Ubisoft presentation. Silent Hope is a video game coming out on October the 3rd. All your characters can't speak because the king has taken away speaking, but the princess can
Rude.
speak through a crystal of some sort. This looked fine. It didn't look like bad or anything. It was just an interesting premise that reminded me of Metal Gear Solid 5, which is not necessarily the best thing you want to be reminded of. But yeah, that is coming out, like I said, in October. Another trailer for Fae Farm, which is coming out on September the 8th. This is, again, another farming multiplayer style video game. We talked a little bit about this last week when they had trailers for that. Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged comes out on October 19th. It's a Hot Wheels racing game. It looked very arcadey in the way that you would want a Hot Wheels racing game to be.
Nice.
So if that's what you're into, that is what you're going to get.
I don't even remember this trailer.
After that, we saw Manic Mechanics, which is like, what if you were playing Overcooked, but instead of cooking, you were repairing cars and machines and stuff? That type of gameplay. It's multiplayer focused and everything, so yeah, that's certainly going to cause some rifts in friendships, as those games tend to do.
Are we gonna play it?
I mean, do you want to play a mechanics game?
No, because I'm not good at that.
So there you go.
But I'm not good. Oh, I mean, I was gonna say I'm not good at cooking. I'm okay at cooking. I am not a chef, but I can cook.
I mean, you did have
Anyway.
a car question for me today, so
I did have a car question for you, because you know more about cars than I do.
beep beep.
Beep, beep.
Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope second DLC. Apparently the first DLC is out.
I did not even know that.
Me either. This is called The Last Spark Hunter. It is out today. There's more new characters, a giant robotic Bomb is here. I probably won't play it.
No, I won't either. It's too late now.
Yeah, they're also putting a demo out for the game, which is probably smart because probably a lot of people didn't play this game. Let's be real.
Right.
So that is out today. Dragon Quest Monsters is getting a third game in its series titled The Dark Prince. It's basically Dragon Quest, but what if it was also kind of like Pokemon? But in this game, you can also just like fuse these weird monsters together to get even more weird monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Which sounds very good. I've seen like Pokemon ROM hacks that do that. Where it's like, you just fuse these Pokemon together, you get some weird, messed up amalgamation of two Pokemon that has the skills together. So that is Dragon Quest. It's back. I saw that art style and I was like, is this Sandland or are they doing another Dragon Quest? The real questions that have to be asked. And then after that, we got a little bit more about Pikmin 4.
Yes.
That is coming out on July 21st of this year, so in less than a month. Yes, Dog is there. They took a kid's Game Boy Advance SP and put it in their spaceship. It's real messed up. I kind of like halfway paid attention to this because like I don't really care about Pikmin. I'm not saying these games are bad. I just don't really care that much about them.
They're not bad games. They're just not for me games.
Yeah. I thought that dog looked good.
The dog was the best part, honestly.
Yeah, they had those glowy
Also, you get to go in the
Pikmin.
depths.
Yeah, not the depths. That is a thing. And then the first two Pikmin games are getting HD re-releases. Those are out today digitally. They will be out physically on September the 22nd.
That's weird.
I think it's like 40 for both and then 30 individually.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want Pikmin 1 and 2 from the GameCube, you can now have those on your Switch. Sure. They showed off a little bit more of the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1. That is now also coming to the Nintendo Switch. So if you want to play Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake, and then I guess also the NES version of Metal Gear, and then also they're putting Snake's Revenge on this, which is real messed up. If you ever wanted to hear that Kojima is not here involved with this thing at all, in any way, shape, or form, know that they're putting Snake's Revenge on this, and that's your confirmation for that.
Do I know what that is about?
So Snake's Revenge is like a non-Kojima related NES-only sequel to Metal Gear.
Oh, Nahone.
That is not a part of the canon whatsoever. Kojima basically disowned it. Because he didn't make it. It was like I think like an American team or something made it because Nintendo wanted a sequel to the game.
Oh, okay. So
they didn't want the MSX. I don't think they probably could get the MSX version of Metal Gear 2 because it was probably too advanced for the NES at the time. So
right. So it's the Miss Pac-Man to Metal Gear.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So
Except for maybe not as good as Miss Pac-Man.
No, not at all. They showed us some other stuff in this that I thought was interesting. Like they're gonna have like lore books and like walkthrough guides in the game for all the individual games. You'll have like soundtracks. They're putting the 2 digital graphic novels in here as well. So like it's a pretty robust package for what they're offering. This is why like that's 7 games technically. 2 digital comic books, a bunch of like lore, some walkthroughs, soundtracks, all that sort of stuff. So a neat little package there. And they also mentioned that how like you can get 1, 2, and 3 piecemeal if you want. So if you don't want to get the whole bundle collection, that is an option as well. After that, Vampire Survivors is coming to Switch on August the 17th.
Yep.
Which is cool. That game is pretty good. The Switch version is going to have, well, this is the first time they announced it. I think the other versions are also getting this 4-player couch co-op for the game, which I think is very wild.
That seems chaotic.
That seems chaotic and would be a fun way to play that game, I bet.
Well.
After that, they showed off Headbangers Rhythm Royale, a game coming out on October the 31st. It is
That's
a
some
game
burbs.
where you're a pigeon and is as they described it, a rhythm battle royale game.
Yep, that is how they described it.
You're competing against people in a bunch of mini games, it seems. It was something.
Yep,
Like the mini games they showed off just looked like weird Mario Party mini games.
that makes sense.
And I was just like, sure, I don't know really what to think of this, but all right.
I just remember birds.
Yeah, birds, that's the key. After that, they showed off Penny's Big Breakaway. This is coming out in early 2024 from the team that made Sonic Mania. This just looks like a game that someone unearthed that was actually on the Genesis but never was released.
Yep.
Like it's just bleeds 90s platforming energy,
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
which I think is perfect, and it looks like it works incredibly well. Like, it's real wild to feel like Sega would not be like, "Hey, the team that made Sonic Mania, you want to make more games for us?" Instead, they're like, "No, we're gonna go make our own thing. Sorry." But yeah, this looked like just very classic platforming. If you're into that, if you're into 90s platformers, this is very much a game for you.
Oh yeah.
For sure. Let's see. After that, we got a little bit about the fifth wave of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass. There is a new track where it looks like you're just driving around someone's house, which that seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
3 new characters coming.
Wiggler Wednesday.
Petey Piranha, the Wiggler. Of course, happy Wiggler Wednesday to all those that celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kamek is also coming, which they also like. They the way they pronounced it was weird. They're like comic. And I was like, what? Excuse me, what?
I always called him comic.
I always called him Kamek.
Yeah, I always called him comic.
It's messed up. It's real messed
I'm
up.
sorry. I'm sorry.
They didn't announce any other courses or anything. This is coming out in summer, so no
Summer.
no date or anything. They'll probably just be like, all right, it's coming out the week before or something like that when they drop it.
Yep, yep.
I am excited to play more Mario Kart tracks and old tracks.
Same, my friend.
So that's cool. Following that, they announced Star Ocean, the Second Story R, a HD 2D remake of the second Star Ocean game coming on November the 2nd of this year. This was me learning that the Star Ocean games didn't start on the PS2. I was like, why does this look like this?
I didn't even know this game existed.
Well, now you do.
So I guess we were in the same boat, right?
Yeah.
Look at us go.
Apparently, this is one of the ones that people like, so
Oh, okay.
there is that. I thought the HD 2D stuff they were using here looked interesting because it was like the characters were pixely and then like the backgrounds were all just like 3D modeled. So it was an interesting, weird, like dichotomy between those two styles.
It seemed like there was a lot going on to my eyes, but I was
Yes.
also commuting, so I was a little like, whoa, this is overwhelming.
Beep beep,
Beep beep. I wasn't beep beeping, I was on a train
choo chooing,
or on a shuttle. I think I was on the shuttle at that point.
beep beep.
Beep beep.
So yeah, that's coming out in November. Speaking of games coming out in November, there's a new WarioWare game. WarioWare Move It, where it's you can play WarioWare, but you have to use the Joy-Cons and move your body, which is not as fun.
I mean, it looked like a fun time.
Yeah, but what
I
if
don't
you
know.
could just sit there and use a controller?
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. And like
What if this was a classic WarioWare game?
that's the problem is that I wonder how long I would actually want to play this game.
Yeah.
But it did look fun, and I was super distraught at the I rotated my phone and I had to see the chat because um
Mess.
yeah, and they were all like thirsting over the man in the suit's butt. And I'm like, y'all, he's in a suit. Like, y'all gotta chill. He's playing WarioWare. Calm down.
They showed off some of the mini games and everything. They showed off there's like a board game mode you can play.
Clean a turtle's back.
You can do the sliding game from Mario 64.
Oh yeah, yeah, the princess slide.
Yep.
I don't know how you would do that with motion.
Move your body side to side.
It sounds like you're about to tell me how to do a dance like the electric slide.
Yeah, there you go. After that, there was a commercial for Nintendo Live and some of the stuff that they're doing in Seattle in September.
All right, I forgot about that.
Then they
So
talked
weird.
about The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and how a lot of people have enjoyed playing it. And then,
Mhm.
hey, we're making a Zelda and Ganondorf amiibo coming out in the holiday. Anyways, that's it. I was like, all right, well, here's where they'll probably announce DLC for this game. Nope, just some
Nope,
amiibos.
just the amiibo. Which I mean, I like the designs. I'll probably get them, but
Hmm.
like, I was kind of expecting a little bit more than that. But oh
Yeah,
well, I guess.
it was interesting. And then we got our one final thing.
One final thing, and oh boy, was this one final thing.
It really was. Uh,
Wow!
2D Mario is back. This is not Super Mario Brothers 3.
Thank God.
This is Super Mario Brothers Wonder, coming out on October 20th of this year. This game looks up.
It does. It looks like a drug trip.
It's awesome.
It looks so cool.
Um, Mario's very expressive in it.
Very, very expressive. They've definitely changed the model.
They got some
He also
weird
becomes an
talking
elephant at one
flowers. He
point.
becomes an elephant, and then you get this flower, and then everything you just get drugged up. Like
Yeah.
the pipes are all wobbly. Tall Mario.
They're like, man, what if those mushrooms that you have in Mario were like mushrooms?
I hope
Wink,
that was the
wink,
pitch. Just
wink, wink.
someone going up to Shigeru Miyamoto and be like, "Hey, what if Mario did drugs?" And he was too exhausted from working on the movie, and he's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever."
Sure, just let
And
Mario
they're
do
like,
drugs.
"Let's go, we got
Let's
it."
go. It looks super good. Although the first thing that I asked you was that I had to watch everything with sound off
Yes.
because I was commuting and my earbuds were acting up. And I was like, please tell me there's no wah wah in
Wow,
there.
wow.
Please tell me there's none of that. And you're like, no, no, there's none. It's like, oh, thank God I can actually play this game.
Yeah, this game looks really cool. You'll be able to play as a lot of different characters. Like you have obviously Mario, Luigi's here, Princess Peach, Ted,
Daisy,
Daisy. You can also play as
playable Daisy.
Yoshi.
Nice.
Yoshi is a tool, not a character. I
Oh,
do
that's
not agree with this Yoshi being playable. He should be used to jump on his back, and then you jump him into a pit.
yep, that's how you play.
There's a
But
there's a Goomba
playable
with a
Daisy's
Ted
cool.
hat in this picture. It's real messed
What?
up.
What?
And then yeah, Elephant Mario.
This game looks super fun.
This game looks wild.
So
So
that
yeah,
was a
that
neat one extra thing. It was a very Mario heavy direct.
sure. I mean, like obviously you want to keep up with the popularity of the Mario movie,
Oh, right, that is the thing that came out.
so makes sense to put out two new Mario, well, not well, one new Mario game and a one old Mario game back.
Right.
This is definitely not what I would think of when I was thinking of like new 2D Mario game.
You weren't thinking about drugs?
No. Can't say that I was. So yeah, this looks really cool. I am
Yeah, it looks really,
into
really cool.
weird stoned Mario. So yeah, that. That is the Nintendo Direct. They added quite a few, or I guess not quite a few, but a couple of games to the voucher program. If you have the voucher and you
Hmm.
bought it, let's say for The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom,
Yeah.
so now you can also pick up with that Super Mario RPG, Super Mario Wonder, WarioWare. Pikmin 4 was already on there. I think that was it. 'Cause
That
I feel like there was like
sounds
5 slots, and
right.
then Tears of the Kingdom was one of them.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Real interesting that none of these other games are $70. I guess they just don't have
Yeah.
the $10 extra of gameplay that you would get in Tears of the Kingdom, of course.
I mean, you know what? I'm glad that that's not the standard.
Yeah, true.
I will not complain about that.
No. Not at all. So yeah, interesting direct. I don't think it was like a gangbusters style of direct like they've had in the past, but I think there was enough interesting things here that warrant some.
It was a respectable direct.
Yeah. There's enough things in here that make you be like, perk your eyeballs up, and you're like, oh, this looks interesting. I might want to pick this up. Type deal. So, I mean, that's all you can really ask for from these types of dealios. So, yeah, that is the Nintendo Direct. I believe that's the final thing we have to talk about in terms of video games for the summer for now.
For now.
Until later in the year when they're like, hey, here's more video games to come out. Because that's the thing. I got to figure out what I want to get with the voucher now.
Yeah, I have no idea what I have to figure that out too.
Because I knew holding on to that voucher was going to pay off. People were like, oh, they're not going to add more games to it. And I was like, you're not probably right, but okay.
Okay.
So, yeah. That's the Nintendo Direct. They directed Nintendo.
Finally gonna get you to play Mario RPG.
Maybe.
No, you're going to play it.
Alice is going to, like, beat me up and then shove the cartridge down my throat.
Basically, yes.
And make me gag on the
ick.
The ick.
Yeah, I put those things in my mouth accidentally. I know what it tastes like. You don't want that in your mouth. Trust me. Mm-mm.
Don't want that at all. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for this week's podcast.
A podcast.
No more video games to talk about. They're all done. Banned for the rest of the year.
No, you can't say that.
No, we're done.
No, you know.
Too many video games are coming out as is. We gotta stop them.
I mean, you're right. I am so overwhelmed with the amount of games that are coming out, and I don't know what to do with myself. And I just looked at my pre-order list, and I have another Otome game coming out soon. In addition to all the other stuff that I have coming out with like Final Fantasy and
Raincoat, Trails into Reverie, Ghost Trick.
Yeah, all that. Why?
All that coming out in the next 2 weeks.
They gotta chill.
Well, they ain't chilling anytime soon, unfortunately. You will suffer.
Yeah, basically.
Anyways, that's going to do it for us this week. So if you'd like more from us, head on over to seasonalanimecheckup.com or sac.cool. It's where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Jared and Al Watch. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Ann Ladium, go to annladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Anime Checkup. You can buy our books, One Shiny Moment, A Critical Analysis of Love, Life, Sunshine, and Hot Tubs and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. And you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/SACOVA. Buy us a slice of pizza, get access to unedited versions of the podcast early, and a whole wealth of bonus content as well. Next week will be something else entirely, I would assume. We'll probably talk about something. Well, obviously we'll talk about something. I mean, we'll probably talk about like a video game or something. I don't know.
Maybe I'll have finished this Otome by then.
I'm assuming that's probably the only thing we'll be able to talk about. Because other games we'll definitely not be able to talk about. That'll be our first episode of July, so look forward to that.
Holy